All right, Scott, guess what? Real Water Sports kicked off their Black Friday sale just about a week early.
80% off Real Water Sports Black Friday sale. Earlier than black. It's like Spinal Tap's album cover, you know. How much blacker could it be? And the answer was none more blacker.
Um, Vanta Black, I think is what it's called. But 50, I mean, look, you said 80% off, up to 80%. That equals 900 bucks off Takayama surfboards, 600 off the Maurice Cole reverse V. You can get leashes, you can get, traction, board bags, anything that you've been waiting to buy. Now is the time, and hot commodity items will go first, of course. So no sense in waiting until actual Thanksgiving or the day after. Get it now. Real water sports.
Yeah, that's the ticket, right? Take care of your holiday shopping right away. So you're laughing when everyone else is scrambling around like a freak trying to buy socks and stuff. And have it all packed away and ready to go so that you have more time to do the stuff you love, whatever that may be.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't be scrambling like a freak. Um, Also, Colby Plus, we've talked about, constantly. Colby, Colby. The plus means premium ingredients. So Robb Colby is the owner, founder, and then he just kind of focuses on a couple of different categories: wetsuits, now booties, and bags. And there's a premium ingredient that is the plus. Yamamoto rubber is the ingredient for the wetsuits. We've been hyping the booties, but I just clicked. They have a sales section on their website with kind of last year's gear, and it's dirt. I mean, I don't want to say dirt cheap, but let's just say it's an excellent discount. If you need a wetsuit and you don't care that it's last year's model, now would be the time to save over there. You could get, I don't know, it looks like maybe 40% off some of the suits. So there's another smoking deal. Uh-oh. What do you got? That's your wetsuit or your booty video?
Yeah, I got a booty video, and I'm pretty psyched to be getting new custom 3D booties, 3D printed booties, specifically to all the little bumps and carbuncles that my foot has on it. And Colby Plus custom booties. Heck to the yes. Do we still have a cursing jar where we pay $1? Hell to the yes. Get your custom 3D Colby Plus booties, man. Are you kidding me?
I used to have a poker group with some dudes. We'd get together for like 10 plus years. And I think we put his kid through college with the curse jar at that poker group.
That sounds fun. You should. Why don't you do that anymore?
Well, one guy moved to Spain. I don't know. Everybody's life has changed. But it was good while it lasted for a solid decade. But so we keep saying custom booties, but for the record, these are 3D printed booties. You take video of your feet, do some measurements. Colby Plus recreates your foot. They build it, they 3D print it, and then custom fit the booties to your foot with a new technology as well. And also the materials are really innovative in those booties. So they're very pliable, but they're warm and they're super durable as well. And there's no straps, there's no Velcro. They just custom fit, suction onto your feet. They're really incredible. So Colby Plus, innovating.
As we see some movement at the takeoff zone, it's Kelly Slater grabbing rail.
Yeah, guy. Yeah, guy. Yeah, guy, David. It is Wednesday, November 19th. Excuse me while I burp a little bit. I'm drinking some coffee. It is Spit, the Spit podcast, David Lee Scales, Scott Bass. We talk about surfing and some other things. And good morning to you, David.
Good morning, Scott Bass. As we enter autumn, head towards the wintertime
Yeah.
in the Northern Hemisphere, you know what I'm starting to think about?
Bread.
Nicaragua.
Oh, of course.
I'm always thinking about bread.
I'm back on the bread. I'm back on the baking bandwagon, unfortunately. Well, I mean, I love baking, but it might not be good for my midsection.
Are you feeling the effects of the
Well, I
bread on the
actually I
midsection?
just baked my first couple loaves yesterday, and I put some in the freezer for Thanksgiving.
Perfect.
And I promised myself I'm not going to like last time I went crazy. I was baking bread like every day, and I'm just going to do 1 or 2 loaves every couple weeks, you
Okay.
know? Yeah. Because
Let
I'm
me ask you
afraid.
this.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Does the freezer have a noticeable detrimental effect on the bread? Like freezing it, is that way worse than fresh?
I wouldn't say it's way worse. I think if there's any detrimental effect, it's sort of a psychosomatic thing, and
Oh,
you take
really?
it out
Okay.
as you're like, oh, maybe it's not as good. You when you're eating it, you're like, oh, this is the frozen stuff, not the fresh. Generally speaking, I think if you went on the internet or did a chat GPT search, they'd say, look, there's no noticeable, it's negligible. And
Well,
so, yeah,
within a certain period of time, anyways. If it's only frozen for a week, like until Thanksgiving next week, I think that's negligible.
yeah.
But if you left it in there for 3 months, you'll notice like freezer burn and stuff like that.
I will tell you that you're a big part of my bread making because for the first time ever, I've been using the Maldon salt in my dough
Mm.
and crushing it as I go. And it's something interesting about that salt. And you've mentioned this, and I think it's true. You can't really oversalt it. It's very hard to oversalt it.
Yeah, it's not very salty.
Yeah, interesting.
I I think it's because of the tariff situation, but I ran out of Maldon salt and I tried to buy that gallon I always buy on Amazon for 25 bucks. It was 50 bucks. And I
Yeah,
was like, what the hell? And so,
yeah.
and it took forever to get to me. So in that downtime, I went to the grocery store and I bought some Italian sea salt. It was like a premium one. I was like, this will be maybe similar, but
Ooh.
it was freaking so salty. So we
Uh,
had people over and I salted a dish like I normally would with it, and it was five
uh,
times saltier than the Maldon salt. It was crazy. So I had to
and do you
dump that.
think there are microplastics in your sea salt?
Guaranteed.
Yeah,
I think they're everywhere at this point.
except in certain salts that have been, like if you go into a salt mine, like an old historic salt mine, and I think the Maldon, you might know more than me about it, but
I don't know.
basically salt mines that are, hundreds of thousands of years old, there wasn't any microplastics during the formation of those salt deposits. So that's kind of the beauty of like sea salts, like probably got tons of Coca-Cola plastic. I'm sorry, Coke. Sorry, Coke.
Uh, okay, well, good point. Well, anyways, glad to hear about your bread journey. What I will say is I year round like to cook, and what I've learned is uh portion control is all. I just need to exercise portion control basically because I don't want to give up the indulgence, but if I could just manage the intake of it, then everybody wins.
You know what I was thinking? It'd be cool if you did a podcast on the local cuisines that are available to you as you do surf travel or any travel that you do, but for
Interesting.
sure, right within this audience, maybe your surf travel. So as we go to Nicaragua, I imagine that there are probably some recipes there that are specific to the region, specific to the culture. I could see you walking into some wonderful woman's home and seeing
Hey,
what
I'm here. She's like, "Who are you?"
you might not know me, but
Um, well, you're the cameraman. Are you good with audio too?
okay, it was just a suggestion. If you're going to make me work for
I'm
this,
gonna
it
get
would be a lot of work. It would be a lot of work to
but
do it
that
right.
Nicaragua is a great call because I bet nobody knows what Nicaraguan cuisine is like. Even if you've been there, I think you're hard pressed to help define it as different than other Latin American or Central American countries.
Right. There's got to be something. I would suggest to you, just off the tip of my tongue here, that there's some sort of banana dish, you know?
For sure. Plantains, fish, but how is that different than Costa Rica or
Right,
El
right, right,
Salvador or anything
right.
else? Like, what is Nicaraguan cuisine? And we will go investigate, Scott, because we buried the lead a little bit, but geez, we're doing a Waterways, our
Oh,
third annual surf trip with Waterways this year to a new location. We're going to Nicaragua to Two Brothers Surf Resort in April.
yes. How excited are we? We're going to get some zippering fast waves down in Nicaragua, and it's going to be interesting to say the least.
We're going to get tubed, is what we're going to get.
Yeah.
I'm just claiming it right now, months in advance.
All right. Tubes.
Well, so the way that we're going to do this one, um, we're going to go 2 weeks. We're going to do two 1 week trips because the resort basically accommodates about 10 people. And so we're like, that's not enough. We already sell out of these trips every year anyways. We can't accommodate everybody that wants to come. So what we're going to do is 2 1-week trips back to back. I'm going to go on week one. Scott's going to stay home, but then Scott will come on week two, and I will go home. So I'll host 1 week. Scott will host the second week, and I could pull up the dates real quick. Sorry, I didn't have those ready. But if you want to come, I think we sent out an email to our subscribers a couple of days ago. So I'm not sure who is all signed up, but I'm sure there are spaces still available. The weeks are April 12th through the 18th is when I'll be there, and then April 19th through the 25th is when Scott will be there. These are 6 night stays. Two Brothers Resorts has air conditioned villas. This will include 3 meals a day, boats all day long, unlimited daily surf transfers by boat or truck. And that's because there's 12 plus actually really good quality waves nearby. The resort is right overlooking Papoya, which is this left reef. I've surfed it, but never when it's actually uh, big. When I've seen photos and video of when it's big, and it actually looks legit proper, like kind of squared out, big barrels. Um, and then there's also Rancho Santana nearby. There's Colorado's nearby, and a bunch of other waves. So beach breaks, reef breaks, rights, lefts, kind of the ultimate wide variety surf destination.
Yeah, that's cool that there's so many options, right? I'm actually scouring through the Two Brothers Resort website right now and looking at all the options. And I mean, there's a lot of, as you say, different opportunities, different types of waves. And so, yeah, it should be tons of fun, tons of variety.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Tons of variety. And I mean, if Popoyo gets big, then you have like a challenging wave. But for the most part, it's really user friendly, like intermediate level surfers kind of can have a blast there. So looking forward to this. If you want to come, you can actually email Chris at Waterways, actually, waterwaystravel.com. Chris is just Chris at waterwaystravel.com. I was going to say you can send me an email, but then I just forward it to Chris. So just send it directly to Chris, Chris at waterwaystravel.com. Get in on that, or go to surfsplendorpodcast.com and click the listener surf trip link, and all of the information is there.
So the question is, normally we do a podcast together when we're on these trips. This is the first one where you and I are not together, David. How sad. I imagine we'll do podcasts regardless.
I think we should.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll
Yeah.
report from the front lines the first
Yeah.
week, and then give you some advice on what you're going to need to expect and what boards to bring. And then the following week, you can tell me how it's going with you guys.
Well, heck yes. Thanks, Waterways. And yeah, email Chris at Waterways and get involved. Again, the first week's David, second week is Scott, and we are going to have a good time. Good stuff.
Well,
All right.
yeah, waterwaystravel.com, by the way, for any and all of your surf travel needs. They're the experts. Go ahead.
I have a who said that. If you want me to try to stump you and the listening audience,
It's getting a little embarrassing, but sure, let's do it.
do you think this segment has run its course? Do you think that the listening audience is okay with this? Do you think we've been stumping them?
Well, you've been stumping me. That's the embarrassing part, but no, it has not run its course, and it's especially interesting to me when there's history to be
Okay.
learned.
Well, let's see if we have any of that here. David, I'm going to quote a famous surfer, and then I'll give you four options, and then you and the listening audience will do their best to determine which of the four it is. David, who said that? And I quote, basically what happened was I'd won the world title. I'd won something like 5 contests in a row, and I was really at peace with myself. I'd applied myself and accomplished things, and I felt that this was the time to kind of kick back for a while and have a baby. I thought that if I slipped out for a while, I wouldn't really miss out on much. And that was really cute because once I did, all of a sudden there were about 5 18-year-olds that the media just went crazy with, saying that these are the girls who are going to be the next champs and blah, blah, blah. End quote. Who said that, David? Was it one, or should I say A? Was it A, Lisa Anderson, B, Frida Zamba, C, Margot Oberg, or D, Lynn Boyer?
Jeez, 5 world titles?
No, 5 contests in a row.
Oh, 5 contests in a row. Whew. Okay, I was like, well, it could only be Carissa Moore if it was 5 world titles, 5 contests in a row. Okay, sorry. Let me refocus here. You said
Do you want me to
Le
restate the quote?
no,
Okay.
just the options. Lisa
A
Anderson.
is Lisa Anderson, B is Frida Zamba, C is Margot Orberg, and D is Lynn Boyer.
Mm, I think it's got to be Lisa Anderson, maybe.
I think it's got to be Lisa Anderson, maybe. No, David, you're wrong. The answer is C, Margot Oberg.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course, well, not of course, but I bring that up because last week we spoke at length about Carissa Moore coming back on tour. And guess what has occurred right after that? Stephanie Gilmore has accepted a wild card for the 2026 WSL Tour, World Surf League Tour, the WCT. Steph Gilmore and Carissa are back. Mother Carissa, Princess Diana, back on the two matriarchs of the Women's World Tour. David, your thoughts?
Well, I was more excited about Stephanie rejoining than Carissa Moore. I shouldn't say I was more excited. I was equally as interested and excited, but I think that Stephanie has a better chance of kind of,
How
go ahead,
old is Stephanie Gilmore? Do you know?
30? No,
37.
37.
Dude, that's old. I mean, I mean for a world championship caliber surfer, that's
Her surfing is on a different level. Like the surfing that the young girls are doing is more progressive, let's say. But the style of surfing that Stephanie's doing, I don't see anybody else doing on tour. So I think that it still has relevance there. Whereas Carissa, I feel like is was the best version of kind of being well-rounded, power, innovation at her time. But I think that the girls that came up under her really did a similar style of surfing, and now they're doing it to a more intense degree. So it's going to be Carissa Moore trying to compete with that, but Carissa also having motherhood just as it defers her kind of focus. Stephanie Gilmore, I feel like, is on a different plane in terms of the way that like the way that she surfs. She's just surfing to her own criteria, basically, and it's undeniable. And then she doesn't have that diffused interest with motherhood distracting. So that's why I think that she might perform a little bit better on this tour or on this year.
yeah. And let me pull my foot out of my mouth. I didn't mean to state that 37 is too old for Stephanie Gilmore to win the world title. Um, what I meant to say was across the board, any professional sport, 37 years old is old to be battling it out.
At the
Now,
world
look, I
level.
mean,
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
I want to say Aki won when he was 40. And of course, Kelly Slater has won world titles. I wonder how old Kelly was when he won his last world title.
2011, I think, 15 years ago. So you'd have been, I'll just look it up.
Okay, yeah. So,
But I'd say he was in his late 30s. He wasn't 40 yet.
yeah, look, I would agree with you that I think when you, and especially in relation to Kelly Slater, when you look at like who has that sort of letting go, um, sort of vibe about them, like, I'm going to go do the tour. I'm going to give it my best. I've already got quite a few world titles. So we're just going to go out there and see what happens. I have no stress about it. I think that obviously that sort of philosophy falls to Stephanie Gilmore, whereas Mother Carissa has much more of this like, I was just there, I got ripped off, quote unquote. She didn't say that. I'm saying that. Um,
Something to
and
prove.
something to prove. And, there's a lot more like her claws are more like embedded in it, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I think that Princess Diana, Steph Gilmore, could basically kind of go into it like, laissez-faire, see what happens. Now that could work against her just as well. A couple of quick eliminations, and she could be like, you know what? I'm out.
Yeah. For the record, Kelly Slater was 39 years old, and the year was 2011 when he won his last. So additionally, I thought initial emotions went through him, and then I was like, you know what? This is an opportunity for both Carissa and Steph to foster a rivalry and steal focus from all the young girls that are making a splash. Because you're right, Carissa did get ripped off. And you know who took her spot? Stephanie Gilmore. And I don't know that I doubt Carissa even pointed the finger of blame at Stephanie. All the finger of blame got pointed at the WSL for the format. But I think this is fertile ground to develop a rivalry, and these girls would be wise to lean into that.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how the wild card situation works, but my sense is that if both of them have to go up against high seeds, one, two, three, four seeds, and they eliminate those girls at Bells, and early in one of the elimination rounds, well, they're all elimination rounds, but we get a Steph Carissa battle early on here, that's going to be great. It'll even be greater if they meet in, say, the quarters or the semis. But wouldn't that be something, David? What you've mentioned here is fascinating. Fostering and developing a rivalry that needs to be refocused on the athletes and not against the WSL.
Well, I mean, I just think it's smart business for both of them. Like, you know, for the narrative of these young girls versus these older girls, it it's almost like you're playing into their hands. But if you just choose the narrative and it is me versus for Stephanie, me versus Carissa, I think that creates an additional storyline, a whole different level of interest. And they would be wise to do it. And honestly, they're really evenly matched. And the idea that Carissa has five and Stephanie has seven also sets them apart from any of the young girls.
Yeah. The only problem here is that they're both so sweet and wonderful humans that I don't sense that they're going to go out on a limb and sort of foster this rivalry that you and I seem to want to see manifest itself. Do you think there's already lingering animosity between the two? Maybe animosity is not the right word. That they're just simply keeping to themselves, and only those very close to them know that there might be, like a little bit of, I want to pay back this person.
My interpretation, have not knowing either of them at all, is that there's healthy competition. Carissa wants more world titles, let's say, than anybody else, and so does Steph. But they don't hold it as a personal grudge against that person. I feel like they're, I don't know, smart enough just to understand that all the variables at play throughout the season can attribute your losses and their wins to a million other things other than that person, basically, is probably how they're operating. Whereas I think the male mentality is a little bit more, um, what is the word? I don't know.
Me either.
More,
You're asking the wrong guy.
it's more like, I want to beat that person and I want to get back at them for something that they did, even though they might not be the one who did it. You know,
Right.
vindictive is the word I was looking for.
Vindictive.
The male mentality is a little bit more vindictive.
Right. Well, look, I guess the next question for you is, look, we've got these two um, wonderful world champions back on tour. First of all, how great is it that, as you mentioned, we both mentioned last time, they sort of stolen, well, we knew Carissa Moore had stolen the thunder last week from the young gals. Now we've got two world champions that have really changed the narrative completely. One, how great is it for the WSL and for women's surfing that you and I have spent two shows talking about women's surfing? I haven't even thought about the men's side of the equation, and I'm already excited for women's surfing. David, who finishes the season higher in the rankings, Carissa Moore or Stephanie Gilmore?
Stephanie Gilmore.
Wow. I feel like we've got a bet of some sort that's brewing here.
Go. You want to take Carissa?
Of course.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's do it.
Not that I have anything against Steph, but since you're taking one side, I'm going to take the other, is
Well, who
basically
would you, if I didn't pick one and you picked first, who would you pick?
Carissa.
Okay,
I think
perfect.
Carissa has a little bit more. I just feel like Steph has kind of got, yeah, why not? You know what? They offered me the wild card. I'll take it, and let's see what happens. And blah blah blah. I don't know. I don't really know either of them. In fact, I do not know either of them, other than what I see, on tour and in the public sphere. So, but I sense that It'll be good. So I'm taking Carissa. You're taking
Cool.
Stephanie. And
Yep.
I don't know what the bet is, but
Well, we don't
how
have to
about
make
how
it.
about this? I'll give you the choice of one of my surfboards, and you give me the choice of one of your surfboards.
No. Heck no. I don't like it.
There's no boards of mine that you covet?
There's no boards of mine that I want to give away.
Right. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
All right.
How about
Well,
I pick the board that I give you and you pick the board you give me?
sure.
I think that's doable.
Yeah.
Okay, done.
Yeah. We'll know which are the worst boards in our quiver.
I can spare a board. I just don't want to let you select which one it is. I
Right.
will pick which one.
Okay. Wow, that's sort of weak sauce. You don't have much faith in your choice, is what I'm getting from this.
I have plenty of faith in my choice. I have too much faith in your choice.
Oh, interesting. That's a good way to put
Um,
it.
yeah, so anyways, excited for this. So do you know where Carissa Moore is gonna debut her return, by the way?
I thought everything was happening in Bells. Or no, there's probably some QSs down at Newcastle or something prior, or is she
Even
already in Hawaii?
even better. There's a QS 2000 and it is called the Florence Pipe Pro.
Hold on. Can you hold that thought for just half a second?
It's happening in less than a month, but yes, I'll hold on my thought.
You know, when I urinate,
Oh,
it's
great.
it's sort of like a Harlem Globetrotters game. Do you know why, David?
No, tell me.
There's a lot of dribbling going on. A lot of dribbling.
Good. I'm glad there wasn't a joke about balls there. Um, well, the floor.
What are you talking about?
Well, I thought it could be a joke about balls. You're talking about
Oh, right.
Harlem Globetrotters? Come on. That
Okay.
was another obvious direction.
I missed
So
it.
Florence Pipe Pro, December 10th
Yes.
through the 20th. This is a 3-day event. And,
Stoked.
and like I said, it's only a QS 2000, which is kind of shocking. But the good thing about it is you open up the entries to a lot of local chargers. The Koa Rothman is signed up for this. Baron Mamiya, Tosh Tudor, Moana Jones Wong, Kala Grace, Billy Kemper, Mason Ho, bunch of local talent basically. And even better for the viewers, it's going to be broadcast live by
Aha.
Salt and Air Studios, who we love, which is Mike Prickett's production company there. They do an incredible job. It's going to be streamed via Rogue TV, which we talked about helping with the Wave in the Winter production, as well as the WSL's YouTube channel. So again, December 10th to the 20th. This is about 3 weeks away, and it's going to be an epic event.
I'm trying to pull it up and it doesn't show up on their website.
Well, it's happening. Florence is sponsoring it too. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Nathan Florence may be helping with the commentary. As you remember in the past, he's done a pirate stream on his own YouTube channel with different events on the North Shore, and his commentary is just raw and kind of off the cuff, but he gets John to sit down. He gets, a lot of the pros to sit down and commentate. And so if I'm not mistaken, I think he might be actually part of the professional commentary team for this event.
Well, interesting. It's not on the WSL's website. The 2025 Challenger Series has nothing for November.
It's not a Challenger Series. It's a QS event.
Okay, if I go to
Qualifying Series 2000.
qualifying series and I go to November, there's 11.
And it's December. December
Dec-
10th through the 20th.
Oh, it's December 10th.
All right, everybody. Enjoy me helping Scott navigate a website from across Zoom.
That's got to be the
It's
worst
it's like-
moment in podcast history.
This is like
I found
tech,
it.
tech support.
Get off of my lawn. I'm an old man.
Okay, there's something called a browser. Click open. Next week, we'll help Scott check his email.
Oh my God, that's
Anyways,
sort of funny.
I already gave you the details. You don't need to look it up.
Okay.
The other question here. So I guess now that I'm thinking about it, a lot of the elements of this show are kind of focused on 2020 the upcoming tour, basically. But John Florence, I don't know if you saw this. Astute internet sleuths noticed that his boat was on track, I think, to go back to Hawaii, and he redirected course to Australia, which makes people think maybe he is headed there for the 2026 season.
Wow, that's amazing that there's people that know how to like watch his boat through some sort of GPS thing or something. How does that
Exactly. I
explain
don't,
that to this old man? How does that work?
well, the only comparable I have is Strava, where my buddies track each other's bicycle rides or running
Yeah.
routines or whatever. There's something similar, certainly for the to follow people's journeys
Yeah.
on their boat. And yeah, John redirected course and is now headed to Australia. So the question is he making a comeback in 2026 on tour?
Who knows? I mean, there's so many things. That could just be like a Florence thing where he's
Yeah.
just going to do a tour there. It seems way too early to be going there.
Especially April is the first contest. So
Yeah, I would think that he would want to be in Hawaii for the Hawaiian season.
yeah. He can always dock the boat and fly back to Hawaii, obviously.
Oh, yeah, there's that.
There's that. The other news here is Filipe Toledo, 30 years old, thrice a father, recently had a new child, has moved back to Brazil after 11 years in Southern California.
What do you read into that whole deal?
Early retirement is what I read into it.
Yeah.
The I want to say it was Surfer Magazine did a little interview with him asking him about it, and basically, um, he talked a lot about family, and he even talked about retirement. He's like, it's hard not to start thinking about retirement. He's already got two world titles, two, I believe, right? And then he's like, if I get invited to the Olympics, if I could win a gold medal, he's like, I've achieved that will be everything that I had set out to do with my career. So what else is there, basically? So he talked also about his brother was having a kid, so he wanted to spend more time with that side of the family. Basically, all of his answers sounded like downshifting away from the pointy end of competition. And so you're asking what that move's about. I think it really is about kind of shifting into retirement.
Well, a gold medal in the Olympics, he would need to be one of the top two Brazilians on the CT, and he's certainly not there. With Iago as our world champion, Idolo would be the next. So those two, and then Felipe would be in third.
And presuming Gabe comes back.
Yeah, so he would have to go on tour to qualify.
Well, he will be on tour. I mean, look, he'll be on tour for the next, let's say, 2 to 3 years for sure. But I think this is an early sign of he's not going to be doing the tour like till he's 50, like Kelly Slater is. He's
Right,
already 30. I think he's doing it till he's 33, probably.
right, right.
Yeah.
Well, good for him. You know what? Family is important. And
Well,
yeah,
that's exactly how I felt actually when I read it. It's like, wow, this guy feels well-rounded, actualized, and like he's got his priorities straight. You know what I mean? Like you've been on tour for, I think he's been on tour for over a decade now, you know, probably 12 or 13 years.
yeah,
It's like, that's enough, dude.
that's a
Like, I
long
don't,
haul. Yeah,
it's a
that's a
freaking
long haul.
long haul, especially when you have three young kids.
And you've kind of got it. He's probably pretty you know, he's pretty well set up fiscally,
Oh,
financially
yeah.
set up so that he can do that. You know, like you're not just chasing it because there's a rep job waiting in the wings for you or whatever.
Yeah. If your livelihood, if your earning is so strongly tied to that and your family's future, but yes, once that is all kind of set up for you and you have other options to make money that are equally as good of money, then yeah, there's a lot less pressure to keep doing it.
Let me
But
ask you this.
yeah,
Let's say he retires and and it's like, okay, we're going to put out a bunch of edits. His team is like, we're going to put out a bunch of insane edits of Felipe free surfing. Um, and you only get to choose two edits to watch. Um, Connor Coffin or Filipe Toledo,
Philippe,
Clay Marzo or Filipe Toledo,
Clay Marzo,
um, Benji Benji Brand or,
Benji.
or Filipe Toledo.
Yeah, pick any of the surfers in Snapped 5. I would pick them over Felipe.
I pick Connor Coffin. You picked, didn't you? Oh, did you pick Connor?
No, I picked Felipe in that one.
Oh, well, okay. What about his brother, Pat? Uh, Connor. What's Connor's brother's name?
I'm just gonna leave it to you. Yeah,
He's a goofy foot.
Pat
Pat
Coffin,
Coffin.
Parker,
I knew it started with a Parker Coffin or Filipe Toledo. Free
Parker,
surfing.
Parker's amazing. Yeah. So to your point, I've seen Felipe and what he does, and it's a bit redundant at this point. The other thing, I mean, he's an incredible surfer, so I don't mean to like downplay it, but it is what it is. The other thing that he's going to be fighting up against is I am overserved mind-blowing clips
Me too.
daily at this
Yeah.
point. I literally watch something and I'm like, that is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Scroll right past, don't even add it to my notes for our show. Look, I have to fill 2 hours, 3 hours a week of surf content, and I don't even add it to my show. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's overwhelming. And so Philippe, the reality is he can't keep up. Like there's just too many young kids doing too many crazy things and too many wave pools and too many big waves around the planet that you cannot best them all. And I think what his niche is absolutely dominating competition at shoulder high rippable waves. And if he's not out there doing that, it's going to be very hard to make a splash beyond all the white noise.
Yeah. It's so interesting, all these clips that we get, and it makes you think, well, what sets one apart from the other? And certainly the surfing is a part of it. But Felipe surf's incredible. Like, why wouldn't that be the one that we want to see over whoever? And the question is because whoever, I think a lot of it is our sense of what the personality of that person is. You know what I mean? Like Rostovich, you're like, oh, this is a very intriguing human being. Oh, and he surfs incredible. That's a great combo. Maybe we'll hear him say something, engage with his audience in this clip that's creates a little bit more color to what we're watching. And I would ask listeners out there, well, what is it that makes you watch one clip and not another clip?
I think people would have a hard time even having the, self-awareness to even know why that is or what is their
Wow,
attraction.
you just down, just
I have a hard
shot
time.
down
I mean,
the audience's intelligence right there.
well, I guess then I should only speak for myself. I have a hard time identifying it. One thing that I wonder though is if your negative sentiment associated with Felipe is really what's influencing you. Like you knowing that you watch, so choosing Benji Brand as the counterpoint,
Yeah.
seeing Benji stand tall at Cloudbreak and just on a freight train, and then the next clip free falling into pipe. Then when you see him do an air reverse on the third clip, you're like, holy crap, this guy's incredible. You know what I mean? But it's those first two clips that really set the stage. Felipe knowing that he's not doing that really makes you downgrade, I think, your perception.
And what do you think about keeping your personality close lid, a tight lid on it, so that your clips are more engaging because the viewer, you and I, don't really even know who this person is, like Benji Brand, frankly, Clay Marzo on some level, although we do have a pretty healthy dose of who he is. Do you think that that's a thing? That if we get too much
Yeah.
Filipe
Over
Toledo doing interviews after heats, that we're like, okay,
I do think so. Like Taro Watanabe is somebody who I'm super intrigued by. Surfing is phenomenal. Haven't heard a lot from him, so I think to your point, you're always wanting more. Um, but Felipe, because of the position he's in, he's had a microphone in his face for, like I said, over a decade on tour. So we have gotten to hear everything that he has to say. Um, I think that he's a supremely nice person. He seems to be like a great family man, all that, but none of it is interesting.
yeah,
Just as a viewer, none of it is very interesting. The good
yeah.
news for him is he has a huge fan base who loves that exact thing about him. They love the fact that he has been a cutthroat competitor and a family man. So he doesn't need our fandom. He's got a
Yeah.
huge fan base.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Well,
but
by the way, I'm a fan. I'm not saying I'm not a fan. I'm a fan. The guy's incredible.
so Kalani Robb kind of called him out. Kalani Robb was on a podcast recently,
Mm-hmm.
late night with late night and Chalky,
Uh-huh.
and he was talking. He basically said Felipe's titles aren't in history's eyes. When we move forward and we look back, Felipe's titles are not going to be as meaningful as John Florence's and Kelly Slater's because of the lack of charging in big waves and because the years that he won, he didn't have to win at Pipeline basically. So I think that obviously you and I have said precisely that over time, over and over again. But I thought it was good to hear, or it was interesting to hear from somebody like Kalani as well. And I wonder if it's true, actually.
Well, I kind of even take it a little deeper. Like, it is my hope that Felipe, and I don't know where he stands on this, but it's my hope that Felipe doesn't let his where he stands as a professional surfer dictate his serenity. In other words, what other people think, like really, if you boil it all down, like all of that stuff is kind of BS. It's just super ego driven. I'm going to be better than you. This guy's better than him. Like there's this like hierarchical ego push that's completely false. It's just not what this whole trip is about. And so I'm hoping that, and I sense that he can rise above any of the, this is who I am. I'm a world, like Filipe Toledo. Who are you? Oh, I'm a two-time world champion. That can't be his internal narrative. I hope.
He has defined that it is not. He constantly talks about being a father and a husband and a family man. So I think you're exactly right. There was a point in time where he realized if his sole identity was going to be surfing, then you need to really be a complete surfer. Complete meaning charge in all different conditions, win at all different waves. And I think he probably realized at a certain point that he had other interests in life and other identities in life. And so he's co-branded his identity.
And they're much, everybody, I can't tell you how important it is to everyone's got their own sense of that, but certainly it's an indictment on our culture that you and I, even as sort of provocateurs on podcasts, sort of pin these people at these places based on their performance in this sort of made up space, which is competition. Do you know who Scott Norwood is?
No, the name sounds familiar, but no.
Well, a long, long time ago, the Buffalo Bills were going to win their first Super Bowl, and Norwood, with no time left, was the field goal kicker, and he pushed the field goal wide right. And it was just for this entire Buffalo Bills Mafia fan base. It was just like the worst thing in the world. And poor Scott Norwood, he's been forever pegged with this thing, and I don't know if that's a part of who he is now. I don't know, but it's a great example of, we need to sort of examine some of the stuff and understand that this is just a game. This is just surfing. This is not what we should be judging people by, even though you and I do it every week on this show.
I think we've been pretty clear
Yeah.
that, yeah, we want out of our world champion to be well-rounded, but we've been clear about still admiring his,
he's a great human being.
His character.
He is a good human being. There's nothing, he doesn't, cut off girls during a contest and scream at them to get out of the water or whatever, whatever.
There you go. There you go. Redirect the ire.
Oh my. That whole thing, I think, took a different turn, but I haven't followed it.
No, I think it took the exact turn that it was originally taking. So what happened was the people who got labeled and called out initially, the second chapter was them defending themselves, and the third chapter was, no, we have it on video of you doing exactly what we thought you were doing, and eyewitness accounts of people who are in the water who heard you screaming at the girls. And so I think it all got confirmed, and then they went silent.
The video doesn't lie.
The video and the people in the water, And then a bunch of other stories coming out of, yeah, that exact guy. I've had nightmare situations with him where he was screaming at me, you know?
Oh, that's
So,
sad.
yeah. So,
Well,
whatever.
hopefully he'll make things right and change the way he does things. We'll see.
On a complete opposite note, I was at the Florida Surf Film Festival when we last recorded, and I spent the weekend with in the same house with Luke Cederman from Raglan Surf Report, and then John Philbin from famous actor from North Shore. He played Turtle, and then he was in Point Break as one of the bank robbers. He was in Tombstone, which is one of my favorite movies growing up. And I just wanted to give those guys a shout out. John Philbin, hardcore surfer. I don't know if you knew this about him, but it wasn't just a character he was playing in North Shore. The reason he got that role largely was because he was a hardcore surfer. And there's a clip in the film of him getting a wave at Pipeline. That's him surfing at Pipe,
Cool.
you know.
Yeah.
He goes to G-Land every year for a month,
Good for
still to
him.
this day, and he has for like 20 plus years. So, and he's 65 years old,
Yeah.
you know.
That's great. That's so cool. Good for him.
Super cool dude. Had an absolute blast. And then, but also is like off social media, so he's not like fully dialed in. He didn't even know who Luke Cederman was at the beginning of the trip. And then we're like, dude, Raglan Surf Report is seriously the funniest thing happening in surfing. And he developed a great appreciation for Luke, and we had a phenomenal time. But Luke is just hilarious to be
Yeah.
around.
Yeah. Good.
And an incredibly hard worker. Like if you watch the Raglan Surf Report stuff, the concepts are hilarious. The his talent, like in comedic timing and all of that, is so good. And especially for surfing. Like you have to be pretty into like these niche level little things in surfing to really appreciate the humor. But if you are, it's incredible. And then the third thing is his production quality, like his video production and post-production editing skills have gotten very, very good. And so we were going to go, it was a Saturday morning, and some of Luke's short films are going to be playing that night at the Florida Surf Film Festival. And he had the idea in the morning of a skit to film with John Philbin. He's like, I got access to a Hollywood actor here. Let's see if we can do a skit. He conceptualized the skit, pitched it, and we were all there. And like, I didn't really get the pitch. I'm like, oh, that kind of sounds funny. I'm sure it'll come together, whatever. Then I was watching him film it, and you got to shoot different angles, reshoot this, shoot the same scene over and over from four different angles. I was watching the whole thing just going, I still don't really get it. And then the final edit, I watched it and I'm like, oh my God, it was incredible. So funny, so interesting to see behind the scenes. Took, an hour and a half to shoot, spent 4 or 5 hours editing just so he could debut it that night at the Florida Surf Film Festival, a concept that he came up with that morning, and it came out like gold. I was like, this guy is kind of genius.
That's cool.
So cool, dude.
Yeah, you can tell that he's a he's got a special talent for storytelling, quick storytelling, and good for him.
And shooting and editing. The other thing was, I'll just kind of reveal the concept for the video. He'll publish it on social media, I'm sure, in the coming days. But the concept for the video was he's in Florida and the waves are small, and he's really bummed that he can't show his new friends how hard he rips. And so there's an app where you can hire somebody to come basically compliment you. You can hire like a local celebrity or somebody to come compliment you. So he hires North Shore actor John Philbin to show up at the house and be like, "Hey, I recognize you. You're such a great surfer," trying to like blow him up a little bit in front of his newfound friends. But for the gimmick, he designed an app on his phone. So there's a scene in the short where he shows his phone and he's scrolling and he selects a celebrity, and that celebrity comes to your house geotagged, kind of a thing. He built an app just for that one scene of the thing.
Yeah, that's actually not super hard to do.
Apparently there's ways, little
Well,
software.
Chat GPT will do it for you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But even still,
No, it still takes 3 hours or 4 hours or whatever.
exactly for a clip that's going to be 1 minute long in its entirety, and for the shot that you need, it's going to be 3 seconds.
Yeah.
but took the time to build it.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah.
So,
You should check that out. It's pretty interesting.
okay, I will. What do you use it for? Or what have
Well,
you
one time
dabbled
I
with
was
it?
like, I went on ChatGPT. I'm like, make me an app for the boardroom show. And they're like, okay, sounds great. So you want an app for the boardroom show coming up? Well, what would you like on it? And you just basically go, well, I want, a menu that has these three items in the navigation, and each one of those will have, and then it goes, okay, for this, what kind of font? But like, it just it's just in ChatGPT is insane. It's just,
And was the final product usable?
yeah, I never actually went to it because, um, it was like too late in the process. I decided to do it in like September, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, but yeah, no, the final product's insane. Like it's super simple. And they basically go, look, we can make this as simple or as in depth as you want, like what colors you want. Can you upload your brand, content, the fonts and the
Yeah.
colors and
Yeah.
everything, the logos. You can do all like it, and it just goes, how about this? Here's a link. Try this. Tell me what you think. And then give me some, it's pretty quick. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
you're kind of blown away how quick they're doing it.
Wow. Okay. I'll
Yeah,
check it out.
you could definitely do it, like
Okay.
for something that one of your brands for sure.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna do
Yeah.
it. I'm gonna do it. Anyway, Luke, good guy, super smart. Let me ask you this: the thing that came across my small brain, it's actually a large brain, but not very much of it is being used. Is are New Zealanders, are Kiwis smarter than
They just
North Americans
they just sound
in
smarter.
general? Huh?
They just sound smarter
I
because of
think
the
they're more
accent.
they're better educated.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know anything about the educational system in New Zealand. I'm not trying to downplay their intelligence or anything like that. I just think um, American culture, I would say it's more a value issue. Like American culture values vapid things. And so we occupy a lot of our time, watching The Real Housewives or whatever.
It seems as if Kiwis and Australians are wittier.
I think the type of wit feels refreshing to you because we're exposed to so much dumbness.
Yeah,
But I don't think it's an intelligence thing,
right. It's a cultural thing.
a value system thing too, currently.
Yeah, because they just seem wittier. There's a deeper wit.
Yeah, I like the wittiness for sure. I appreciate that style of comedy that's
Yeah,
coming out of New Zealand.
it's sort of self-deprecating.
It's an element of dryness to it. Takes
Yeah.
cues from British humor.
Yes, which is all. Yes, thank you. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
By the way, which kind of might be why I don't know what it is about Curb Your Enthusiasm that Larry David's form of humor is kind of funny.
Oh, hilarious. I loved Curb.
Yeah.
Couple of other notes here before we go. Kind of been opening day in the Pacific, huge
Mhm.
waves, or actually the Atlantic too. Like Nazare had some days, Mavericks had a day, Hawaii obviously had an opening day at Pipeline, up and down the California coast, all the way up to Monterey County. Sad stories, actually. Kind of, this is almost a PSA. I saw a story this past week that a father and daughter got swept to sea in just south of Carmel in Big Sur. Like the 5-year-old girl, you know how fast those surges come in on the beach up there. And so you think you're on dry sand, but rogue wave comes and it sweeps and it's so powerful. So this is unbelievably tragic story, but a family was visiting Big Sur and the 5-year-old daughter got swept out. The dad went out to rescue her. Uh, he got swept out. The mom then went out. There was an off-duty lifeguard that happened to be on the beach. He got out in the water, grabbed the mom, saved the mom, resuscitated her. Also was able to grab the dad, but the dad had already passed, so he was not able to resuscitate the dad. And I think the 5-year-old girl's body was later found by the Coast Guard, but just horrific. Um, and I've seen a number of these stories too of people being uh, hospitalized and injured due to rogue sets. So just a PSA, I suppose, for everybody just to be super careful because it's legit. It's scary, especially in Hawaii.
That's horrible. Keep your never turn your back on the ocean, right?
Totally agree. And then another injury that's worth noting, Zeke Lau has a YouTube channel that he's been pumping out content with. He did this backside air at Rocky Point,
Hmm.
and like gave up on the air midway through. The leash fully extends. Basically, the board stays in the air because of the wind, and he dropped down into the whitewash. And when he did, the leash being fully extended, rubber banded back, hit him in the side of the head, sliced his ear all but off. It was
Oh my God. Oh my
hanging by a
God.
thread.
Oh my God. That's horrible.
I know. So he's got it stitched back on, internal and external stitches. He will be okay. But wild moment. He's got it on his YouTube channel if you want to see it.
I don't want to see that, but thanks. I have a must-see moment, and it is, guess what it is, David?
Well, it was Snapped 5 last week. Oh, I know what it is.
Complete opposite.
The Ken Burns documentary.
Yes. On PBS, it just dropped, brand new documentary in time for our 250th anniversary of our independence from King George and the United Kingdom. And it is called Revolutionary War. And it's a 6-part series about this time that is just mind blowing. And I urge everybody to watch this incredible history piece on who we are, how we got to where we are, and what we are. And it's amazing. And please watch the KPBS series Revolutionary War.
Have you made it through all 6 parts yet?
No, we've done 3. Each one of them's 2 hours long.
Yeah.
And in 2 days, we've gotten through 3 of them. And they're incredible. And I'm literally reading a Rick Atkinson book right now called The Fate of the Day, which is the second book in his trilogy about the Revolutionary War. Of course, I was ecstatic when I see Rick Atkinson's one of the talking heads in this piece. He's a Pulitzer Prize winning author. And so I'm fully engaged is my point. Like I'm actually reading a book about it and watching it it's just like I've got multimedia going on here.
It's Ken Burns is obviously the GOAT of documentary. But you got to have a lot of time on your hands. They are long.
Yeah, no, and I'm fully engaged. So, and you know what? You can watch them over time. Like,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
don't have to watch them all right away or anything. And they're all out. You can watch them all. They dropped them all. You can stream the entire series.
Required reading, honestly. I mean, I know it's not reading, but it's kind of required viewing for any
Totally
American, I
agree.
would say.
Totally agree. That's my take is like, if you were to had to force people to watch something to get citizenship, this would be it.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I have not watched this one, but I've watched past documentaries from him. The baseball one. I think he did a Civil War one.
yeah,
It's been years since I've watched any of them, but
country
yeah,
music. He did one on country
that's
music.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they're always really, really incredibly well done.
Must
So
see moment presented by Trees Wax, the good people at Trees Wax Christian, probably boiling up a pot of healthy, eco-friendly wax right now.
petroleum free, made from rocks and trees. Treeswax.com, promo code SPIT saves you 20%. My must-see moment is actually the new episode of Maps to Nowhere.
I did watch this. Watched this yesterday.
Just dropped. This is Maps to Nowhere being produced by Surfline and O'Neill. They obviously do these little documentary surf travel pieces. And generally they've been to warm climates, warm waters. And this one's cold water. And you have thoughts on where it could be, Scott? You don't have to say
I
if you.
mean, it's obviously somewhere up in Canada, somewhere.
No, it ain't.
Oh, Alaska.
Nope. I don't think so. I think it's in the United States, the contiguous. Is that right? Contiguous 48 states?
Okay, well then it's northern Washington.
I don't think so.
Okay, whatever. Somewhere up there where it's hard to get to. It's either Alaska, Washington, or Oregon. Can't be anywhere else.
It can be elsewhere. It's not
Oh,
there.
really?
In my mind, it's not there.
Oh, they threw us off that much, huh? You think
I
it's on
think
the
so.
East Coast?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no intel. I have no intel. I'm just basing
Right.
my guessing based on kind of the elements that are in the document or in the series. Anyways,
Yeah.
Maps to Nowhere, get it on YouTube. It's, O'Neill Team Surfers, Soli Bailey, Ian Crane, a couple of others, but cold water. These are just like, look, when you first start getting into surfing, you also get into the idea of travel. Whether or not you have the means to travel, you certainly have watched The Endless Summer, and you want to travel the world to surf. These do that really, really well. They do a great job showcasing all of the forecasting that is involved, all of the planning and prep, all of the getting skunked that is involved in trying to get good waves. So I think this series is timeless in that way. They can just continue to do it over and over and over, and there's always an element of interest for me. But
Yeah.
but my other thing takeaway from this, Scott, is just how expensive it is. I'm like, you need a giant truck. You need to drive 7 hours often. That giant truck costs gas money. You need to wear all of this super warm clothing. You need multiple wetsuits. You need multiple boards. It's like, that is an undertaking, man. Like, this is not for the faint of heart. This is not for uh, low income citizens. This is rough.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's a lot of downtime for the amount of uptime.
Yeah, it's like we're on day 4. I'm like, you guys haven't even surfed a wave yet. What the heck? Day 4? Like, how do you check out of work for 4 days? You know?
Yeah. Oh well.
Anyways, I still liked it. Maps to
Yeah.
Nowhere, YouTube. You'll love it.
Yeah. Check it out.
Must see moment. And then also, of course, support Surfrider Foundation. They do incredible work, both in, you know, Capitol Hill trying to legislate for meaningful change, all the way down to beach cleanups, as well as water sampling to give you information on the health of the oceans at your local beach. So they could use, look, the amount of work that they can do is directly related to how much support they receive and how many people are members. So if you utilize the ocean recreationally or otherwise, consider becoming a member at surfrider.org.
Yeah. Go do it. Surfrider.org. All right. Well, look, David, we've said a lot. Lots been talked about. A lot of this and that, a lot of discourse. Until next time, adios and aloha.